Hi, this is Chris Converse, and in this episode we're going to make use of the first of type and last of type properties in CSS. This allows us to select and style specific instances of elements within a parent. And this is a great technique for styling the beginning and ending of a string of items, such as links, which is what we're going to be doing in this episode. Now what I like most about this selector is that if another element is in the same parent, it will have no effect on this selector, because this selector is based on an element's type. So if you'd like to follow along with me, download the exercise files, and let's open the index.html file in a text editor. And now with the HTML file open, down here we're going to be focusing on the anchor links that are inside of a div with a class of moreInfo. So we're going to be using the CSS selectors to pick out the first item here and the last item, but we don't want to add any additional HTML into here. I don't want to add any IDs or classes. We're going to use CSS to pick out those items. Now if you want to preview the page we're currently looking at, you can open the index.html file up in a browser. And you can see these three links showing up here after the content. So to begin styling these, let's go back to the exercise files. Let's find style.css. Let's open this in our text editor. And in the CSS, let's scroll down to the bottom. And so down here we can see we're targeting the moreInfo container, which has the links inside. We're actually going to make a small adjustment to the moreInfo class later. So let's scroll down after the moreInfo with the hover class. And let's come in here and target the first anchor link inside of the article moreInfo class. So we'll type article space dot moreInfo, then a space, then an anchor tag, and a colon. And so we're going to put in the first of type, which is a structural pseudo class, which basically means that that item is selected based on its relationship to not only its parent, but its siblings. So after the colon, we'll type first dash of dash type, then a space, put in our brackets, split this open, and the first property we'll set here will be the border top left property. I want to have the first and last links have rounded corners. So we'll type border dash top dash left dash radius colon space, and we're going to set this to 16 pixels. And now if we go back to the browser and preview this, you'll see that the first anchor link in the moreInfo div is the only one that has the top left rounded corner. The other ones have square corners. So let's go back to our CSS. Let's duplicate that property. Let's change border top left to border bottom left. And now in the browser we have a nice rounded end cap on that first item. Let's go back to our CSS. Let's come in here and copy this entire rule. So if he returns, let's paste it. For the second instance, let's change first of type to last of type. And let's change border top left radius to border top right radius. And then for the second one, we'll change this to bottom dash right. And now in the browser, we'll see that we have our first link with rounded corners on the top left and bottom left, and the last link has rounded corners on the top right and bottom right. So now with these changes in place, the entire element now has these rounded corners. So I want to change a few of the optics here. I want to add a little bit more padding on the right of the type on the last item and the left of the type on the first item. And I also want to align this so that the rounded corner here extends a little bit to the left of this, giving us more of an optical alignment. So let's come back here to the first of type. Let's come in here and set padding left. We're going to set this to 19 pixels. Come in here and copy that. Let's come down to last of type. Let's paste that down here and change padding left to padding right. Save our work. Now in the browser we have a little bit of extra space on the left side of the first one and the right side of the last one. And then back in the CSS, let's scroll up and find the article.moreInfo. Let's come over here to the margin left property and let's set this to -3 pixels. What that will do is take this entire element here and just move it a little bit to the left, so it more optically aligns with the rest of the content. And then finally, let's go back to our HTML file. Let's add another link and make sure that the rules are working properly. So back in our HTML file, let's come down here to the third link, which is behavior. Let's duplicate that and let's change that to in culture. Save our work. And then back in the browser, we can see that that last link is now picking up the selector of last of type. So the first and last of type gives us a great way to style specific elements within a group. without adding additional HTML markup to your web page. Now, if you'd like to expand on these link styles, maybe add a nice rollover effect, check out our course on creating CSS animated rollovers here in the library. And so with that, I'll conclude this episode. And as always, thanks for watching.